Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Unit 6.4 Notes, Day 4. Today we're going to be simplifying exponential and radical expressions. Our learning target today is to be able to simplify radical expressions with numbers and variables. So, simplifying exponential and radical expressions that contains variables. The first thing that we're going to do is to rewrite the expression into radical form, okay, with the little square root, but it's not going to be the square root because there could be another number out here. So whatever it is, it's just using the radical, okay? We're going to simplify the numbers inside the radical by using the appropriate root. If it doesn't have an exact answer, we have to divide out the largest appropriate root and use the remainder to simplify. I know it sounds like Chinese, guys, but trust me, we've done it before. It's not too bad. And then the last thing we have to do is to divide the exponents, okay? And once again, if it doesn't have an exact answer, we divide out the largest multiple and use the remainder to simplify, okay? Calculators are okay here, but we want to give exact answers and no decimals. Are you ready? Oh my gosh, that's super close. Don't worry, that's not what we're looking at. But this we are. So the first step is to simplify it to two different parts. So we have this part and the variable, okay? So I'm going to break down the square root of 32 and the square root of m to the 12th. Excuse me. Now, the square root of 32 does not break up perfectly, okay? But there's a perfect square that goes into it. Now, you could either go back and forth from this guy, or using your calculator, remember that the perfect squares are 1 squared, 2 squared, 3 squared, 4 squared, 5 squared. Okay, do you guys remember these? 36, 49. These are the ones that you need to know 100%. Okay. And 16 is what breaks down this guy. So we would break this down to the square root of 16. 16 goes into 32 two times. And remember the variable that the square root of m to the 12th is really saying 12 divided by 2. Okay, so what happens is the square root of 16 is 4. I have m to the 6th, and then the square root of 2, it just kind of hangs out. We're not done with, like, we can't really do anything, so that's our remainder. Okay, so this is our final simplified form of the square root of 32m to the 12th. Okay, so we have to break it down, and we start by rewriting it. We look at the two parts. I have the square root of 27 and the square root of y to the 9th. So I need to break down the square root of 27. So I'm thinking of these numbers. Guys, if you don't remember how to do this, I should have shown you this on the last one, but I didn't. So we start with the highest number, which is, we start with 27. The first perfect square is 25. That doesn't go into it. Then it's 16, and then it's 9. And so it breaks down to 9 and 3. Okay, so square root of 9, square root of 3. But we would divide. Remember how we said we have to divide, and 9 divided by 2 doesn't work out. So we can actually break the y up 2 to something that 2 goes into. All right, so the highest number that 2 goes into from 9 is 8. So I broke this up because 8 plus 1 equals 9. Okay, so I'm breaking up my variables to something that can be divided by 2. 1 can't be divided by 2, so that's going to be my remainder. All right, so my final answer, I have 3. Well, here we go. We'll just write all this down. Okay, so I have 3 square root 3, and then I have y to the 4th square root y. So as I bring it all together, I have 3 y to the 4th, and then underneath the square root, I have a 3 and a y. Okay, so I'm just kind of rearranging all that information. Okay, and it's only going to get longer. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3 things. I have the square root of 150, the square root of a to the 5th, and the square root of b to the 10th. Okay? So the square root, or 150, I would look at 144, 121, 100, and so on and so forth, until I find the perfect square that it actually works with, and it's 25. Okay? So the first part breaks down into the square root of 25 and the square root of 6. And if you want to keep solving that part, it's 5 to the square root 6. Now, if you go off to the side and do 5 divided by 2, you know that it doesn't work out perfectly. So I want to find the biggest number that does. So when I break this down, it's going to be a to the 4th and a. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and then I'm left over with a. I like b to the 10th because 10 divided by 2 works out, and that's b to the 5th. Okay? So I take my 5, my a squared, and my b to the 5th. 5 a squared b to the 5th, and then I need to write down my remainder, which is the square root of 6 and the square root of a. So it would be 6 and a inside. Okay? So we're just reorganizing all of that information. Okay? And as soon as we're done with squares, then they start throwing out all these other guys. Okay? But we're doing the same thing. I'm just going to look at my variables, and the first step is to always rewrite it. So I'm not thinking of square roots anymore, so I can't be like, oh, it's 16 that goes into it, because now I need to think of cubed roots. So I need to think of these numbers that go into 32. All right? We know for a fact it's not 216, it's not 125, it's not 64, 27 doesn't go in, but 8 does. Okay? As I erase all that, so 8 is the number that we're going to use. So the square root of 32 breaks down into the cubed root of 32, the cubed root of 8, and just we're going to do the same thing. 32 divided by 8 is 4. Twelve divided by 3 is 4. So here we get m to the 4th. Now, does 7, can that be divided by 3? No. But can 6 be divided by 3? Yep. So when I break down the n, it's going to be n to the 6th, and then my remainder is just the 1, just the n. Okay? The cubed root of 8 is 2. I still have the m to the 4th right here. And then 6 divided by 3 is 2. So my answer, and then I have the remainder. Sorry, I hope somebody's yelling at me. This is supposed to be a 3 right there. So we have 2 m to the 4th n squared, so I'm keeping track of everything outside. And then my remainder, what goes inside of here, is 4n, and that n should be pink. Okay? Hopefully, if you're seeing this for the second time, it's starting to make a little bit more sense. If you're seeing this for the first time, please come and talk to one of us. Okay, so I look to see all of my different pieces. Cubed root of 24, the cubed root of x to the 6th, and the cubed root of y to the 11th. Okay? So as I come back to here, 24, and actually this is going to be the same number, it's going to be 8 that goes into it. So the first part breaks down into the cubed root of 8 and 3. Okay, I'm just going to break this down all the way because I think seeing it this way is a little simpler. Okay, so we have simplified remainder. X to the 6, or the cubed root of x to the 6, we can actually divide that out and get the x squared. Okay, and now can 11 be divided by 3? Nope. What about the next number? Nope. But can 9 be divided by 3? Yay! So when I break this down, it's y to the 9th, and then I gotta be able to compensate for the other 2, so then it's squared. I simplify the cubed root of y to the 9th because I just divide it, and we get y cubed, and then my remainder, okay? So answer, remainder. When I come to the very end, I'm going to put all of my yellow information together. So 2x squared y cubed, and then the cubed root with my remainder inside, which is a 3y squared. Okay, so number 6, let's just see if you can break it up into the 3 parts. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video and good luck. Okay, and there I am, just breaking it down to the 3 parts. Okay, as I look at each one individually, I'm going to look at the 64 first to the 6th power, and that is 2. Okay, so that was easy. Okay, so we have a 2. And that breaks down all nice and perfect. Now 15 divided by 6 does not work. And the closest number, 14, no, 13, no, 12 divided by 6 does work. So we have the 6th root of a to the 12th, and the difference would be a cubed, okay? That breaks down to a squared because 12 divided by 6 is 2, and then we have 6a cubed, okay? So simplified remainder. And then 6b to the 12th, well, 12 divided by 6, we just did it, is 2. And that's part of my simplified part. So as I put this all together, I have the 2a squared b squared, and then my remainder is the 6th root of a cubed. All right, and now we are in exponential form. Okay, so I'm going to break this down into the same components because as I do it, I look at my exponent, which is 1/3, which is really the cubed root. Okay, so I'm going to take the cubed root of -216, the cubed root of k to the third, and the cubed root of w to the 7th. Okay? Now, -216, it's going to be 6, and since it's negative and it's an odd exponent, this is -6. This actually divides out perfectly, k to the first, or just k. But then the 7 can't be divided by 3, so I have to split it up, and it's going to be w to the 6th and w. W to the 6th to this cubed root is w squared, and then I'm left with w. So we've got simplified, and then there's our remainder. So as I write everything out, I have my -6, I have my k, and my w squared, and then my remainder of the cubed root of w. And remember that cubed root of w, that was our remainder. Okay? Number 8. Look to see your 3 pieces, 1, 2, 3, and this right here, the 1/2, that's the square root or just the root symbol, okay? So we have the square root of 98, the square root of m to the 4th, and the square root of n to the 11th, okay? Let's see if you guys can break it all down. So go ahead and pause the video and just try it. Good luck. Okay, we got 7m squared n to the 5th, and then we have the square root of 2n. Okay. All right. Number 9, you guys are all on your own. Let's see if you can do it. Okay. There are my 3 pieces, and this is the 4th root. Okay. Go ahead and pause the video, and good luck. Okay, so we get 3a to the 4th, b to the 4th, and then all to the 4th root of 2b cubed. All right, so I know breaking down that 162 might have been difficult to you, But so when I'm looking at 162 to the fourth, these are my two big numbers. And so it can't be 256. So I do 162 divided by 81. And then that's how I got 81 and 2 for this part right here. Okay? All right. Let's do a couple more together. All right? So look at the three pieces, and then whatever your root is, this is going to be the fifth root. Okay? So I have the fifth root of 96, the fifth root of k to the 13th, and the fifth root of q to the 20th. Okay? So the fifth root, I'm looking back over here. 243 doesn't go into it, so 32 better. We're going to take 96 divided by 32, and we get 3. Perfect. So this breaks down to 32 and 3. And then here we go over here. Oops, sorry, wrong one. It's 2. So that breaks down to 2 and then the fifth root of 3. Okay? So there's our simplified part and there's our remainder part. Now I want to see if you can break those other two down. So pause the video and good luck. Okay, so breaking down k to the 13th to the fifth root. Remember we checked 13 is not divisible by 5. The closest number is 10. Okay, so those missing 3 numbers is my remainder. So that's why we have 3k cubed under the fifth root, and then 20 divided by 5 gives us 4. Okay? Don't worry, I'll do the next one with you. So I'm breaking it down. I'm looking for my 3 parts, and then 1/3 is the cubed root. Okay? So I have the cubed root of 108. Sorry, I need to have a cube out there. The cubed root of x to the 12th and the cubed root of y to the 16th. Okay, so 108, as I'm looking through my list of cubed roots, no, 64 maybe. Let's try it. 108 divided by 64, no. Okay, what about 27? Yeah, there we go. So 27 and 4. So the cubed root of 27 and the cubed root of 4. The cubed root of 27 is 3. And then there's my remainder. Okay? So my simplified part, my remainder part. And now I'm going to do that for each one. 12 divided by 3 is x to the 4th. That's simplified. 16 is not divisible by 3, but my next number is. So I have the cubed root of y to the 15th and the cubed root of y. 15 divided by 3 is 5, and then my remainder. Okay, so there's my simplified part. There's my remainder. I put everything in yellow out front, so 3, x to the 4th, y to the 5th, and now I work on my remainder, everything that was highlighted in blue, and that's the 4y. And that's how we get our answer. Okay? So guys, it's just a pattern. You can do this. Okay? Last one, all on your own, okay? Pause that video and good luck. Okay, and that's my answer. Now, if you have any questions, you need any extra help, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself, who would love to help you out. Otherwise, your homework is 6.4 practice D. If you need any extra help, come and find us. Okay, we would love to help you out. Okay, so this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra 2, Unit 6.4 Notes, Day 4. Thanks for watching.